A dog's shadow trembles against the farmhouse wall. Some fears never die. The shot begins with a wide view of the desert-like Kansas plains. The horizon burns in blood-red twilight, and the farmhouse sits in the middle like a forgotten memory, its roof sagging, its windows glowing with faint dying light. The sound design is chilling long silences interrupted only by the groan of rusty hinges, the faint scratching of branches, and the moan of wind slipping through the cracks. The voiceover begins, low and uneasy. In the middle of nowhere, where no one dares to go, lives a house that has seen things the world was never meant to see. The camera moves closer to the farmhouse, but never directly inside. Instead, we glimpse it through unsettling details. The rocking chair on the porch swaying, though no one sits in it. A rusty metal pail rolling slowly across the dirt. The faint creak of footsteps upstairs, though the windows reveal nothing but shadow, a sudden cut darkness. Then, with a heavy thud, the screen lights up with a single bulb dangling in the kitchen. The camera shows Muriel's hands softly knitting, the yarn trembling slightly as if something unseen is brushing against it. We never see her face, only the slow, deliberate movements of her wrinkled hands. Her soft humming turns slightly off-key, almost warped, and the sound begins to echo unnaturally, as if it is being swallowed by the house itself. The next shot is tighter, focusing on Courage. His trembling pink paws press into the wooden floorboards. His shadow quivers against the wall, and his body shifts in nervous jolts, his ears twitching at every noise. His eyes, wide and glowing in the dim light, dart around the room as the house creaks and moans. Courage lets out a soft whimper. The camera cuts close enough to hear his shallow, shaky breathing. Eustace appears next, not in full, but in fragments. A pair of boots slamming against the porch. A hand slapping a newspaper down on the table. The snap of a belt buckle. His voice growls through the silence. Nothing out there but the wind, stupid dog. The words echo, yet they feel detached, like they are being repeated by the walls themselves, distorted and hollow. The screen flickers with static, as though an old television is struggling to stay alive. It hums, then snaps into focus. A news anchor, face obscured by static and distortion, delivers a chilling report. Strange disappearances, nowhere to run. Locals say the farmhouse is cursed. The broadcast cuts out mid-sentence. The TV hisses with static, filling the room. Courage tilts his head, ears trembling, his reflection faint in the glowing screen. His body freezes as a low thump echoes through the house, slow, deliberate, almost like footsteps inside the walls. The rocking chair starts moving again. Muriel's humming stops. The screen cuts to black. A heartbeat sound begins slow, heavy, echoing through the silence. Each beat grows louder. Courage's breathing becomes frantic. The wind outside rises into a violent howl, and the windows begin to rattle violently in their frames. The farmhouse door slams open on its own. Darkness swallows the entryway. The voiceover returns, deeper, more haunting, in a place where the shadows are alive, and the walls remember every scream. Courage is more than just a word. The camera pans back into the field. The corn sways, but not with the wind. Something unseen moves through it, fast, cutting a path toward the farmhouse. A low growl rumbles from the distance. Courage lets out a muffled, stuttering bark, then backs into the shadows. The final shot of this section. A slow push toward the open doorway of the farmhouse. The screen is pitch black beyond it. Then, just for a fraction of a second, two glowing eyes blink in the dark. Cut to black. Text fades in with a metallic scrape. Coming soon, asterisk. The night falls heavier than before. The farmhouse stands like a tombstone in the middle of endless dark fields. No crickets, no owls, just silence. Then, a faint electrical hum crackles through the air. As if the sky itself is about to tear open, inside the kitchen, Courage paces in frantic circles. His paws click against the warped wooden floorboards. His breath comes in short gasps. He stops, ears pointing sharply at the sound of a faint knock. Not on the door, but from inside the walls. 3 slow taps, deliberate, echoing from the thin plaster. His fur stands on end. The old TV flickers again. The screen warps with static before bursting into a distorted news bulletin. The image glitches, shapes twisting into almost recognizable faces before breaking apart. The anchor's voice is broken and warped, words spliced by static. Residents vanish, traces of blood, shadows moving on their own. The screen buzzes, then shifts to a single word flashing in red, jagged letters across the screen. Run. Courage yelps, backing away from the glowing box. The lights in the house flicker and the air fills with a low humming sound, almost like whispering voices overlapping one another, speaking too quickly to understand. Suddenly, the farmhouse door blasts open with a violent gust of wind. Dust and dirt whip into the air, curtains snapping like torn wings. Muriel's knitting needles clatter to the floor, the yarn rolling across the kitchen tiles and unraveling into the hallway. Her chair rocks violently, but she is no longer sitting. In it, the camera follows the yarn as it snakes across the floor, disappearing into the black hallway. A faint sound drifts from the shadows. Muriel's voice, distant, fragile, but warped as if underwater. Courage. Courage, help me. Courage freezes, staring into the dark. His eyes reflect the faint glow of the swinging light bulb above. He lets out a shaky whimper, then takes a trembling step forward. From the porch, Eustace's boots thump once, hard against the floor. The camera cuts to his silhouette in the doorway, his body unnaturally still. He growls, voice grating and cruel. Ain't nothin' out there but shadows, stupid mutt. But his voice glitches, breaking mid-sentence, repeating itself as though a tape recorder is rewinding and replaying his words out of sync. His shadow twists on the wall, bending and stretching unnaturally. Until it no longer matches the shape of his body, the hallway grows darker, impossibly dark, swallowing the light like ink poured into water. Courage pads forward, each step slower. Then the last, the camera follows close to his trembling form. As he crosses the threshold into the hallway, the screen narrows. Black shadows closing in on either side, the yarn leads to a door at the far end. It is half open, the inside pitch black. Courage's breathing grows ragged. His paws press into the floor, claws scratching lightly against the wood. He pauses, then nudges the door with his nose. It creaks open, revealing nothing, just blackness. So deep it feels like it stretches forever. Then a sudden burst of noise. Muriel screams, sharp and panicked, echoing from the dark beyond. Courage leaps back, shaking violently, ears flapping, eyes darting around the room. The camera cuts to a close-up of the door. Something moves in the black, a faint outline shifting against the darkness. It is tall, crooked, and its limbs stretch. Too far to be human. A hand, long and bony, presses against the edge of the doorway. The fingers claw into the wood, splintering it with a horrible screech. The humming in the house grows louder, overlapping whispers turning into a chorus of voices. Courage's reflection appears again in a cracked mirror on the wall, his eyes wide, his mouth open in silent scream. Behind his reflection, just for an instant, a massive shadow looms, glowing eyes burning like coals. The door slams shut on its own. Silence. Courage stumbles backward, panting, his chest heaving. He bolts back into the kitchen, paws slipping on. The wooden floor. The TV flickers again, static morphs into distorted images of Muriel screaming, Eustace's mask falling, Courage himself barking helplessly in an endless hallway. Then the screen cuts to black. A single whisper cuts through the silence, deep and guttural. It's already inside. The farmhouse lights explode, glass shattering across the room. Cut to black. The sound of Courage's terrified whimper echoes into silence. Asterisk, the screen opens. On silence. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that crushes the air, pressing down on every breath. The farmhouse sits under a bruised sky, the moon hidden behind choking black clouds. A single porch light flickers, buzzing like an insect's death rattle, inside. Courage hides beneath the kitchen table, his tiny body trembling. His eyes dart to the hallway where the door slammed shut moments earlier. The yarn lies still now, stretched across the floor like a vein, its end swallowed by shadow. The camera holds on Courage's face, his fear is raw, unshaped, almost childlike. Then a sound, slow, wet, like something dragging itself across the floorboards. It comes from the hallway. A pause, again closer this time. The walls themselves seem to bend, the wallpaper rippling as if something unseen is pushing against it from the inside. Courage crawls backward, his nails scraping against the wood. His breathing grows rapid, high-pitched whines slipping from his throat. The humming returns, low at first, then building. Not just one voice now, dozens, maybe hundreds, whispering, chanting, muttering. The sound echoes all around the house, impossible to pin down. The hallway door creaks open by itself. Darkness spills out, thicker than before, curling like smoke. Out of the black, two faint lights appear, not lamps, not reflections, eyes burning, yellow, animalistic. They blink once, then widen, the whispers stop. Silence again. Courage's ears fold back, his jaw quivers. His tiny body shakes violently as the thing in the dark leans forward. A shape begins to emerge, too tall, too thin, its limbs bent at wrong angles. Its head tilts unnaturally, bones cracking with each movement. A long arm stretches forward, fingers grazing the floor, claws tapping like nails on glass. The farmhouse itself groans, wooden beams bending under the pressure of something too large to exist within it. Windows rattle, dust falls from the ceiling. The rocking chair on the porch begins to sway violently, though no wind blows. The camera cuts to Courage's perspective. His vision wobbles with panic, the shadow growing larger, closer, filling the hallway until there is nowhere left to hide. His teeth chatter audibly as he backs against the kitchen wall, paws slipping. Suddenly a loud bang. Eustace's voice booms from the living room. "What's all this racket?" The camera cuts sharply. Eustace appears, holding his iconic mask. His boots slam against the wooden floor as he stomps toward the hallway. His body is shown only from behind, but his broad shadow stretches unnaturally across the wall, warping as though someone else is moving with him. He lifts the mask in front of his face. His voice is mocking. "Ooga booga, stupid dog." But his laughter distorts. It echoes too long, stretching into something not human, the tone deepening into a guttural snarl. The mask drops from his hands, falling to the floor with a hollow thud. When it hits, the camera cuts in close. The mask is covered in wet crimson streaks. Courage lets out a terrified scream. His bark echoes unnaturally, stretching across the room until it warps into silence. He darts beneath the table again, his body pressed flat against the floor. The kitchen light flickers wildly. Shadows twist across the walls, forming grotesque shapes, faces screaming, hands reaching, teeth snapping. The whispers return, but now they chant a single word, repeated over and over: "Nowhere, nowhere, nowhere." The hallway erupts in violent movement. The creature steps fully into the light. Its form is wrong, its face stretched too thin, eyes burning holes through the air, its crooked body scraping against the ceiling. It towers above everything, but its movements are jerky, almost like broken film frames. Muriel's voice suddenly pierces through the chaos. Distant, pleading, "Courage, help me." Her cry is muffled, warped, as if she is underwater or buried somewhere deep in the earth. Courage's ears twitch. His whole body shakes, but his eyes focus, pulling toward the sound. For a moment, just a moment, the fear breaks. He crawls forward, inching toward the hallway. Each step feels heavier than the last. The creature tilts, its head watching him, its jaw opening wide enough to split its face. Inside only black void. The farmhouse door slams shut behind him. All light dies. The screen goes completely black, a heartbeat. Then another dot. Suddenly, Courage's terrified face flashes on screen in a close-up, illuminated only by a swinging bulb above him. His scream rips through the silence, distorted, echoing, inhuman. Cut to black. Text fades in, jagged and scratched. Across the screen, "IT has begun." Asterisk. The screen opens with a violent flash of static. The farmhouse is gone. In its place, endless black fields stretch under a storm-choked sky. The ground is cracked, dry, and bleeding with faint red light from underneath. The windmill spins wildly, though no wind moves the air. its blades groaning like screams. Courage bolts across the dead soil, his paws scraping dust into the air. His breath comes in ragged bursts. Behind him, the farmhouse flickers like a mirage appearing, disappearing, twisting into shapes it was never meant to hold. Its windows are no longer square but jagged mouths, snapping open and shut. The montage begins. Shot 1. Muriel's voice, broken and stretched, echoes, "Courage, where are you?" The camera flashes to the inside of the house. Her rocking chair spins in circles, yarn wrapping tightly around the arms like restraints. For a split second, a pale hand grips the yarn before vanishing. Shot 2. Eustace's mask lies in the dirt. Flies crawl across it. The shadow of his body jerks in the background, suspended by unseen strings, twitching like a marionette. His voice repeats, distorted and mechanical. "Stupid dog! Stupid dog! Stupid!" Each repetition grows quieter until it fades into whispers. Shot 3. Courage runs through endless hallways that bend like twisted intestines. Each door he passes slams shut with a deafening crack. The wallpaper peels in strips, revealing moving eyes underneath. His panting echoes unnaturally loud, layered over itself like there are dozens of him running at once. The montage quickens. Courage scratching at a locked door, his paws bleeding, the handle turning slowly by itself. A grotesque figure with the combined features of Katz, Freaky Fred, and the chicken from outer space all stitched together in a shifting nightmare form. Its smile stretches wider than its face, its head tilting with bone-crunching snaps. Courage, barking desperately, but each bark is swallowed mid-sound, vanishing into silence. A shot of the mirror. Courage looks in, but his reflection doesn't move with him. Instead, it opens its mouth, screaming silently as black ooze drips from its jaws. The sound design is relentless heartbeats, distorted laughter, whispers, and the tearing of wood. Every cut is sharper, quicker, more violent than silence. The screen slows. Courage stands in the middle of the cornfield. The stalks bend away from him, forming a path. At the end of that path stands the entity. Its body looms impossibly tall, its head brushing the storm clouds, its limbs bending like broken marionette strings. Its eyes burn like furnaces, and when it opens its mouth, there is only a low, endless scream that shakes the ground. Courage freezes. His body is trembling so violently it looks like he might collapse. The voiceover cuts in, deep, metallic, and final. "Fear will break him, or make him." The camera closes on Courage's face. For the first time, his eyes narrow, his trembling lessens. He lets out a single, shaky bark, not a whimper this time, but a sound that echoes, sharp and defiant. Cutting through the chaos, the storm above tears open, lightning splitting the sky in jagged streaks. The creature lurches forward, its body twisting in unnatural jolts. Courage steps toward it. One step, another, his shadow stretches long across the dirt. Small but unbroken, the montage ignites again, Courage leaping through a shattering window as the house explodes in black smoke. His tiny form sprinting across the collapsing ground. The creature's hands slamming down just behind him, cracking the earth open. Courage biting down on the unraveling yarn, pulling with all his strength as Muriel's muffled screams echo louder. The monster's face leaning close to Courage, its breath distorting the air. As Courage refuses to look away, the cuts grow faster, the storm rages. Courage barks again and again, each sound louder, stronger, until it becomes a roar of defiance. Suddenly, everything stops. Black screen. Silence. Then, in one final burst. Shot. Courage stands alone in the field, face lit by a faint glow. Behind him, the creature's shadow rises, massive and unstoppable. The screen shakes violently as the shadow lunges forward. Courage turns, mouth open in a scream cut to black. The trailer title slams in with a metallic scrape and a boom that rattles the speakers. Courage the Cowardly Dog, the movie, 2025, a final whisper, faint and chilling, bleeds into the silence. The things I do for love.